This is the FM Gold channel of All India Radio. In the program News Analysis, now we bring you a discussion on Cyclone Phailin in our preparedness. The participants are Kmph, Member, National Disaster Management Authority, and Chetan Chauhan, Associate Editor, Hindustan Times.
The eastern coast of India has been hit by a cyclone which is rated as high as the one in 1999. Mr. Singh, what are the preparedness on the part of the government, state and central government, to deal with this sort of upcoming disaster?
If we compare the situation that was there in 1999 when the super cyclone happened, and if we see the situation today, I think they had remarkable work done by the state government and central government both as far as the preparedness is concerned. First, I would like to mention about the state government. In the state, Odisha was one of the first states to make the Odisha State Disaster Management Authority after the 1999 cyclone, and that is a functional authority looking after the entire aspects of various disaster and preparedness mitigation measures for that. Number two is that Odisha long back created Odisha Disaster Rapid Action Force, ODRAF, which a large number of trained manpower who are fully equipped and trained to deal with any disaster as far as the search and rescue is concerned. So state government preparation. As far as the central government is concerned, the distinctive work done was, number one, that as far as the meteorological department is concerned, they have acquired the Doppler radar, and so the Met prediction nowadays comes very accurate and well in advance. In this case also, more than 4 or 5 days ago, we started getting the clear prediction as to what is going to happen on 12th, where it's going to hit, at what speed. So that helped the state government and central government both, giving sufficient time to prepare. That's number one. Number two was that based on 1999 experience, where large number of people died, the central government and the National Disaster Management Authority have launched what is called National Cyclone Risk Mitigation Project. Under that, under the NCRMP, the Odisha already has more than 200 cyclone shelters in the coastal belt, and so has Andhra. So in the last 4 or 5 days, the evacuation that has been taken place, more than 4 lakh people have been evacuated in Odisha, more than 1 lakh in Andhra. Most of them have been given shelter in the cyclone shelter, which are very safe buildings. So to that extent, second, there is a very big work. Third important step by the Government of India is the creation of National Disaster Response Force. National Disaster Response Force with 10 battalions is dedicated only for natural disasters and CBR and emergency, with about more than 10,000 people trained and equipped as per international standard. In fact, India has the unique distinction of having the NDRF with the single largest dedicated disaster response force in the world. In today's cyclone, more than 2,000, about 2,300 trained personnel of NDRF have been already deployed in all the coastal districts, not only Andhra Pradesh and Odisha, but also part of West Bengal, in every nook and corner with the search and rescue equipment. So these are some of the very significant preparations which have been done, which should help in the present cyclone in a big way.
Mr. Singh, how long would be the impact of cyclone in this region, and which are the areas which would be worst affected or worst impacted by the cyclone?
The cyclone is expected to hit Gopalpur, and the 13-14 coastal districts of Odisha are going to be worst affected, very badly affected. The worst affected are going to be the districts of Ganjam, Khurja, Puri and Jagatsinghpur, the 4 districts. These are going to be the worst affected because they are right on the coast. As far as the duration of the impact is concerned, we'll go by the whatever forecast has been given by the Met Department, and their prediction is that the first 6 hours after the landfall, the wind speed will be very high, 150 km plus, whatever it may be. And then after next 6 hours, it will come down. After 12 hours, the wind speed will come down considerably, maybe even it will become 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. But the rains will be there, heavy rains, for the next 48 hours after the landfall.
And that will be spread in how much area?
This will cover the entire Odisha, northern districts of Andhra Pradesh, part of West Bengal adjoining Odisha, entire Jharkhand, then upper districts of Chhattisgarh, and parts of southern Bihar. These are the areas for 48 hours is going to have very heavy rain and of course high wind.
And what is there any prediction that how much rainfall will happen in these 48 hours?
Met Department has given the rough predictions about district-wise. But the fact remains what they use the word heavy to very heavy rainfall in these areas.
But because of this rainfall also, normal life in these regions will also be impacted. So how has the state government and the central government tried to deal with the situation?
First is cyclone, then is the rain. And third is post-rain. The dams and barrages in Hirakud, Davanta Valley Corporation and all, they will have a huge amount of water. As I mentioned, for the search and rescue and evacuation post-cyclone, NDRF is already 2,300 people are there. Army, Air Force, Navy have been fully alerted. Army Engineering Wing has already moved because there will be a lot of bridges will be washed away and all that for the construction work. Air Force has placed 40 helicopters for Odisha and 10 for Andhra Pradesh. Already they have earmarked. 2 aircraft also has been earmarked by the Air Force for any rescue relief operations, whatever it may be. On the health front, the central government health team has already reached there, and large number of doctors with medicines and paramedics and all, they are readily available. Similarly, another important area is the animals, because animals also is a lifeline for the rural people. So for that also, veterinary doctors and vaccines and all, they are already stocked in a considerable number over there, and that preparedness is also there. Rest, it depends, because the Cabinet Secretary and the Home Secretary also and NDMA, we are reviewing the situation on almost hour-to-hour basis. There has been excellent coordination between the state government and central government in this cyclone.
A large number of people have also been evacuated from different areas in these states. What were the problems state government, NDMA or the rescue people faced while evacuating people? Because such a large number of people, 5 lakh people being evacuated in 3 days or 4 days, is a huge number. If you compare with Uttarakhand, which is a totally different landscape, there 1.5 lakh people were evacuated. But here about 5 lakh people have been evacuated 4 times.
Evacuation, both are different problems. Uttarakhand evacuation was post disaster. Here it is pre-disaster, we had sufficient time. But the problem that happens is that the villagers are not prepared to leave their houses, being afraid of theft in the house. There are 2 reasons. Number 1 is the theft, and number 2 is that they are so attached to animal is the lifeline, they don't want to leave the animals and leave. So a state government has to actually go in a big way to persuade people and to move to cyclone shelters. And the effort has been to, at least if not the entire family, the children, the ladies and the elderly people, shift them to the cyclone shelter. Able-bodied male can maybe take care of themselves. So there has been a problem, and but still evacuation has been done in a considerable number.
The 200 shelters have been built, but are they adequate to keep so many people because of the impact?
No, it's not adequate. It's an ongoing project, and in the National Cyclone Risk Mitigation Project in the entire Andhra Pradesh and Odisha, the cyclone shelters which are built, it has been, the IIT Kharagpur has done a lot of work on that, and the basic concept is that no, in the coastal area, no villagers should be required to move maximum more than 2.5 kilometers to reach a shelter. So, to that extent, only the shelters which are at the moment only are a few, but in a huge project, a large number of shelters in the next 3-4 years will come up in the entire coastal belt. If phase 1 is Odisha and Andhra, but in the next phase, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, all the coastal states are going to have cyclone shelters. It's a major project of the Government of India and NDMA.
And because a large number of people, there are also cities, small cities, bigger Paradip port is also there, Puri town is also there on the coast. For these towns, a large number of people may be living in these towns also. What has been the evacuation plan, mitigation plan for the cyclone in these towns?
First of all, the advisory that is there, that don't live in kacha houses. Now, luckily, most of these towns that you have mentioned, there are a large number of pakka houses, concrete houses. So they are reasonably safe. The unsafe houses are kacha houses or houses with a tin roof or the thatched roof. But the point is, ideally, if you go, there should be no habitation, maybe about half a kilometer to 1 kilometer from the sea coast. But that is very difficult to implement. So we can't go for the ideal situation. But the fact remains that as many pakka houses are possible and have the cyclone shelters. If life is saved, then property can be restored. People who lose their houses, government give them money for compensation for that. So have as many as pakka houses as possible in the coastal area and have as many as shelter for evacuations.
Like in 1999, because of so much of seawater came into the fields, paddy fields, there was a huge impact on agriculture, local agriculture. At this time, we expect a similar sort of thing, even if the human loss is less. Are there any plans for post-cyclone mitigation or helping the farmers or the poor people? Because in that region, a large number of tribal people, poor people reside in that region.
One of the biggest mitigation plan is the cyclone shelters. But what we have called the National Cyclone Risk Mitigation Project. And besides cyclone shelters, it covered many areas about in the coastal belt, what sort of habitation should be there, what should be the evacuation plan should be there, what should be the plan for communicating the information to the grassroots level, last mile connectivity at the quickest possible time. All these measures are there. Partly it has been implemented, but these are all the part of the National Cyclone Risk Mitigation Project, which in the next few years will come on the ground.
Because, as you said, elderly people, the women and children may have been shifted to the cyclone shelters, but large number of younger guys are there. Are there any call centers or the way to, if somebody finds himself in a danger, how he can contact somebody in a call center or somewhere?
Like for example, in this cyclone, the Odisha government has already given the helpline number, and that helpline number has been flashed in the newspaper and electronic media and also people. People have the helpline number. Only problem is after the cyclone, all these communicators towers may fall, the communication may be snapped altogether. That's a different problem. But otherwise, the helpline number of the Odisha government has been brought in the public domain as well as possible.
And are there adequate number of boats and other things for rescue operation, because a huge population lives on the coastal region of Odisha and Andhra Pradesh?
No problem in that, because in the sense that even the NDRF team which has got, they have got a large stockpile of inflatable boats, which can be, if inflatable is easy to carry, it can carry 10-12 people. They have a very large number of inflatable boats, and that is already stocked over there, fairly large number. Plus the Navy is there, Coast Guard is there, ODRAF themselves have their inflatable boats and all that. So that is absolutely no problem to that extent. Along with the boat, they have the life jackets, life buoys also. So that is no problem.
But this sort of a cyclone is coming after many years. But cyclone in the coastal area of India have been a frequent this thing. And NDRF and NDMA has done a lot of work on this. So which are the areas you think that in coming years the government, NDMA will have to work to ensure that we mitigate or deal with such sort of disaster in a better way? A lot of work has been done in the past.
If you are talking of disaster on the whole and not only cyclone, I think the more work needs to be done on earthquake, because there is a difference. Whether it's a flood and cyclone, we get from Met Department advance warning and we prepare. Then the point is also that there is a flood and cyclone has been regular feature.
Yeah.
So people living in the flood-prone, cyclone-prone area, they also know how to fend for themselves.
They are prepared also.
And they are prepared, and they get advance warning also now. Good. Yeah. Earthquake is one thing where there is no advance warning. And if you see the houses in the Zone 5 and Zone 4, there are even normal period, every day there's some building or other is collapsing in Delhi, Mumbai and all. And what may happen. And not only, I'm not talking of only Delhi, go to the hilly areas and all. The houses are so fragile, whether it's Shimla or Nainital or Mussoorie or North Mizoram, everywhere. So our preparedness in respect of earthquake is lot needs to be done. How to educate the people, you must make earthquake proof houses.
Dr. Singh, thanks a lot for coming to the studio.
You were listening to a discussion on Cyclone Phailin and our preparedness. The participants were Kmph, Member, National Disaster Management Authority, and Chetan Chauhan, Associate Editor, Hindustan Times. It came to you in the program News Analysis, produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. This program is also available on our website, newsonair.nic.in. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsttalks@gmail.com.